Ooh, happy Tuesday, Prime Sports World and Nights. Welcome into another edition of Prime Sports World, and this is going to be our very first mock draft, the first 18 picks, mock draft 1.0. This will include no trades. So whatever pick your team happens to have, that is the pick that they're going to be making here at this mock draft. Of course, please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. And if you do happen to miss this live, I will share the link to all of our streaming platforms. Izzy, I'm going to have to mute you here for a second. So you can check us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. So if you do happen to miss us live, you can check us out on all of the streaming platforms. I will share that link right now. So go ahead and check that. I've also shared the StreamYard link. So if you want to join us and talk about your team and what we think you're going to do on this version of the mock draft, feel free to join us. But please don't join if you don't know anything about football. We hate that. So please keep that in mind. But yeah, I'm David Huffman right there as the CEO of Israel Rivera, and then my co-host, Mr. TJ Hopkins. Welcome to the show. And with no further ado, let's get into the mock draft. Gentlemen, anything interesting that you found when you were doing your mock draft this time around?
I'm seeing a lot of Bijan Robinson at 4. I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Come on, why would the Colts?
Why would the Colts go Bijan Robinson at 4? That doesn't make sense. Again, this is no trades.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make the Colts at 4 when they have Jonathan Taylor, unless they want a 1-2 punch of Bijan Robinson.
Nobody play quarterback for them next season, right?
unless that's what they want, unless they just want to, take some of the workload off of Jonathan Taylor, which I completely get.
I mean, they do need to do that, but I think they could do that with a very late round pick, or they do have Zach Moss on the roster now. I think running back and forth doesn't make any sense. But let's get into the mock draft. Let's talk about the team that's at the number 1 on the clock, Chicago Bears. Me and TJ, Chicago Bears, with the first overall pick in the no mock edition. Let's let the Packer fan go first. Mr. Israel. Let's go.
Hey, was there a problem with my mic? Is that why you had to mute me, David?
Yeah. You had a lot of background noise going on.
That's because I'm in my car and it's cold outside, so I had the heat on. So,
luckily you're part of Prime Sports World, and we bring the heat.
We're gonna bring the heat, son. Yeah. Anyways, baby. I think no trades. All picks are staying here. This is an easy one. They don't need a quarterback. They go defensive end, edge rusher, the best one in the draft, Will Anderson. This is a no-brainer. They get a guy that was already kind of projected to be number 1 overall for in the last 2 years, right? I mean, they've been talking about this guy since last year to be number 1 overall. If Bryce Young didn't have the year he had this year, and whatever the case is, so this is a team need. Will Anderson is the perfect pick for the Chicago Bears. They get an edge rusher for the next 10 years or so, 12 years.
Well, that's nice. I really think if they keep the number 1 overall pick, there's no wrong answer between Will Anderson and Jalen Carter, which is who I have them taking. Because as much as edge rusher is important, collapsing the pocket from the middle is just as important, maybe even more. And Jalen Carter is projected as not only just the number 1 overall pick, but the best overall player in this draft. Like they feel that strongly about Jalen Carter, and I would not be upset one iota if the Bears decide to keep that number 1 overall pick and make Jalen Carter a Chicago Bear. We legit saw a team like the Buffalo Bills who can't run the ball at all, right? Their 2 running backs, when they played the Chicago Bears, both averaged 9 a carry up the middle.
And their quarterback averaged 7 yards a carry.
Averaged 7 yards. Like, bro, get Jalen Carter, collapse the pocket, worry about the edge later in the draft. That's just me. So I go Jalen Carter at 1.
So I'm going to break this tie with Will Anderson, defensive end out of Alabama. And I do agree with you. I don't think this is a win-win situation if you're the Chicago Bears. I don't necessarily.
There's no wrong answer.
I don't think there is a wrong answer between these two guys. They're both freak athletes. They're both going to get pressure at the quarterback. I just think the defensive end position is a little more valuable than defensive tackle, but that's just my honest opinion.
Well,
And I would take the edge.
Y'all ain't wrong considering there's more premier edge rushers in the league than premier D tackles. Like the premier D tackle list is kind of short. You got Aaron.
But you could probably do it in one hand if not less than that. Like Aaron Donald, Vernon Hargraves, and that's what
Quentin Williams.
Quentin Williams.
That's 3, right? Like Vita Vea, healthy. Right, like that's 4. Like I'm drawing a blank on some who pick a guy for the Eagles.
Vernon Hargraves plays for the Eagles.
I thought it was Javon Hargrave.
It could have been. It could be. I think Vernon Hargraves played 10 years ago.
So like you got Javon Hargrave. You got Jordan Davis is probably going to be like their next. Their new Fletcher Cox because Fletcher Cox getting up there in age. So. But when you go edge rusher, you got Khalil Mack, Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa.
The list goes on.
The list goes on and on, right? Like Washington has a bunch of them. Washington has 4 guys on the same roster.
Chase Young,
Chase Young.
Yeah, my bad, guys. I had to take that call. Oh, my bad, guys. Go ahead.
You're good, man.
No, you good.
But let's move on to the Chicago Bears. It's all good, brother. Moving on from the Chicago Bears, let's talk about the Houston Texans. They're on the clock, and since I went last on the last one, I'm going to go first on this one. And I have them getting the quarterback of the future. I got them taking Bryce Young, quarterback, Alabama, going to the Houston.
Who'd you take? Who'd you take the first pick, David?
Will Anderson. He agreed with you. Will
Anderson. Oh, okay. Hey, you know what? Hey, I don't mind. I love that pick, David. Either or, you TJ and David. That's a great pick for the Bears. Anyways, go ahead, Texans.
He said Bryce Young.
Quarterback. They need a quarterback in the future. Davis Mills is not the answer. Neither is Jeff Briscoe. Give me Bryce Young. He's the best quarterback in this draft class. This is
okay. This is 100% giving me Gardner Minshew vibes, right? Like Gardner Minshew put up a bunch of numbers with the Jags. They just didn't win. Davis Mills putting up a bunch of numbers with the Texans. They're just not winning. They just hired a new coach in D'Amico Ryans who spent 6 years? Would he play 6 years for them? Something like that?
I thought it was more than that.
He played damn near half of his career with them.
Right. So like I know he spent a majority of his career with them. Like it had to be like 6-7 years. Something like that. But
I'll Google that right now.
My only hope is they give him a fair shot. Like I gave him a 6-year deal. So how much of that 6 years is he gonna be around?
Oh, TJ, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm in another group chat. I'm in another group chat with a bunch of guys from a fantasy league of mine, and they the whole group, everybody in the group chat, they black, so they was like, man, I hate the fact that they always choose black head coaches to be in a rebuild, and so they made a good point. I was like, you got to give, he's a black head coach, you got to give him some chance. Don't do what you did to your boy. What's his in Arizona? My guy in Denver. You know what I'm talking about? Godly, his name's escaping me.
Hackett.
But you know what I mean?
Not Hackett.
Yeah. Not Hackett. No.
Vance
Joseph, guys. Yeah. So you got to give him a chance during the rebuild, man. I love the hire though. He's a great defensive coordinator. You're right. TJ.
We'll be breaking down all of the coaching hires towards the end all of the comparisons wrap up here.
Back to this, all signs indicate Bryce Young, right? Like I still don't understand why Texans fans were upset about getting the second overall pick. Like you're not, like you do realize you can get Bryce Young at 2, right? Like you know how that's still a thing, that's still a possibility. Like you can still do that.
I think
yes, sir.
The difference is if they really want Bryce Young, now they have to trade draft capital for him.
No, you don't.
Because there's always that risk. There's always that risk of a team moving up to 1 to take them from you. So now, when they had the first overall pick, you controlled the entire draft.
Guys, you going Bryce Young? You guys too? Both y'all going Bryce Young?
Yeah.
Be different.
Both you guys.
Be different.
You already know I'm gonna be different here. I'm gonna be different here because I'm gonna say this. The only reason I say Bryce Young slides just a little bit is because of his stature. We've never seen a 5'10", 190 football player get picked in the top 10. And he doesn't have the strongest of arm. He has all the intangibles. He's accurate with the ball, but he's 5'10", 190. I just get a little fearful of him getting.
Kyler Murray is the same build as him.
Kyler Murray's
Kyler Murray's thicker. Kyler Murray's thicker,
bro.
Not by a lot.
He's stout, bro. He's thicker. Nah, Kyler Murray's thicker.
What are you looking
at? He's thicker, Dave.
Kyler Murray ain't no twig.
Yeah. So
he wasn't a big man when he came out of Oklahoma.
But Kyler Murray's thicker. He's bigger than Bryce Young. Not the height, but he's big. Anyways, I'm going with C.J. Stroud from Ohio State. He's got all the size. He's got the arm. He showed the mobility against Georgia. And I think that when you put up the numbers like you did against the best defense, arguably, probably they're up there with the 01 Hurricanes. Okay? I'm going C.J. Stroud here. The tape pops out. I know he had a lot of weapons at Ohio State. So did Bryce Young the previous year from last year. I know last year he, had, some guys that were still kind of working out the kinks, some young wide receivers. So that was kind of impressive by Bryce Young. But C.J. Stroud, I think you take him here if you're the Houston Texans, and I got a surprise later because they got that second pick here coming up in the first round, guys.
Moving on from the Houston Texans, let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals. Season where they have not chosen their new head coach yet, and they're probably not going to have Kyler Murray for a majority of this season, if at all. But they are on the clock with the third overall pick. This is a team that probably could look to trade back or, potentially. Who do you guys have Arizona taking, Izzy? Since you went last on the last one, let's go first here.
I will go first. This is where Arizona. We talked about it in their preview. I mean, they need a little bit of everything. They're in the bottom half. They're out of the league in sacks and getting quarterback pressures. This is where you go get your pocket pusher. You go get Jalen Carter from Georgia. Put him in the middle. J.J. Watt's retired. Great replacement for the Arizona Cardinals here. Jalen Carter out of Georgia.
I'm also taking Jalen Carter. I think Arizona's in a pretty solid position here. They get basically whoever the Bears don't take. So they take Jalen Carter.
Will Anderson, just because the Jalen Carter's out the board. So and Will Anderson here probably makes more sense because they have no secure presence on the edge.
They have nobody in the middle either, but it's fine.
But yeah, they have no secure presence on the edge. Like, what's his name? The edge rushers they've gotten, like Zayden Collins, or like they haven't. He hasn't really been an edge rusher since he got in the league. I know it's only been 2 seasons. They haven't hit.
Isaiah Simmons also neither hasn't been an edge rusher.
Well, are you playing them at edge over Chandler Jones when he was there and J.J. Watt when he was there? Are you really doing
hell that? No.
Okay,
hell no.
So
Marcus Golden he's not on the roster anymore, is he?
I don't think so.
I haven't looked.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think he was gone last year. So yeah, they need one, bro. They need somebody. They need somebody.
I mean, they have Zach Allen, who's doesn't really leave me as much to be desired. Moving over to the 4th pick in this year's mock draft is held currently by the Indianapolis Colts, a team that could potentially move up. But I have them staying put at number 4 since it's the no trade mock, and I have them falling in love with one of the quarterback prospects, and it's not C.J. Stroud. It's Will Levis. I think the front office of that Colts front office is in love with him. The stature, the arm. I just think they look at Will Levis, and he has all the intangibles. I think he will be the next Indianapolis Colt. And I think he could potentially. He has a pretty high bust ceiling. Like his chances to be a bust is fairly high.
Ridiculously high.
It is high. It is a little high.
But if you hit on him, he's gonna be awesome. I mean, he's got the Justin Herbert intangibles that you look for, like the big body, the arm.
TJ, you remember you saw NIU play Kentucky? I saw NIU play Kentucky. I'm just gonna bring that because that's our alma mater. Like they were getting after Will Levis in the DBs,
that game was too close for Kentucky.
Too close. Yes.
I mean, he's 6'3". I mean, he's got all the 230.
He's got a rocket for an arm.
He's got a rocket for a throwing arm. Everything, all the stuff that the prospect, like the teams fall in love with when they come with these draft prospects, Will Levis has it.
I mean, I mean, that's cute. That's fine. That's dandy. But yeah, CJ Stroud. CJ.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, absolutely. I agree.
so like so
Can't go wrong.
so it Mel Kiper, who is super respected in NFL circles with the mock draft and all that and all the stuff he does for ESPN. He's probably going to release 10 mock drafts between now and the
I
draft.
think I think he's already released three.
Three of them. Right? So, but like he's on First Take like a week ago now. No, not even a week ago, like 3-4 days ago. And he's telling Stephen A. and them like, yo, Will Levis could be, the top pick of the top quarterback in the draft and whatnot. And he could be, but so like the issue that you have is we've seen this before, right? We've seen this before, like namely like in like the 2017 draft, right? Like everybody's talking about Deshaun Watson, a few kicks here for Pat Mahomes, but all of a sudden the Mitch Trubisky train starts rolling. It starts rolling, it picks up momentum, and a team was dumb enough to, bite the bullet and fall for the hype. This time you got two quarterbacks that everybody's talking about. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, and all of a sudden now the Will Levis train is starting to pick up hype, starting to get the rolling. Now all of a sudden it's Will Levis is going to be the best quarterback in this draft. Not going. CJ Stroud. Is he? Is he going?
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. I'm actually going to agree with David. I have Will Levis being taken off the board. Yeah, the Indianapolis Colts have fallen in love with Will Levis. I already got CJ Stroud off the board. I don't think they are in love with a 5'10", 190 quarterback in Bryce Young, even though he put up magical numbers the 2 years and he's a former Heisman Trophy winner and all of this other good stuff. I just think that they look at the intangible, they look at what Will Levis can bring, in terms of his intent, in terms of his physical attributes. 6'3", he's a big guy, got a cannon for an arm. He didn't like Kentucky. He really didn't have that number one kind of wide receiver. He had a bunch of number twos, and he did some damage in his the last couple years of college. This is what I will say though. Going into the next level for Will Levis, he does have to bring down the turnovers. I mean, he is prone to make mistakes in games, not keep his head in games, throw some picks that he shouldn't be throwing because he relies on that arm, right? He's got a rocket for an arm, so he thinks he can fit into any window. So that's the only thing I was have to say for the next level for Will Levis, but I got him going here at number 4.
So real quick, my question is the Colts are one of the trade packages or trade partners that's linked to the Bears for that number 1 overall pick, right? Colts get 1, we get 4, and whatever else they give up. Do the Colts take Will Levis first overall? Would they do that?
I don't know why would they do that. I don't know.
I'm telling you, if they're enamored with him, I think they would take him no matter where.
Because David, you already know my logic. If that's your guy, go get your guy. Like, don't waste no time. Don't hesitate. Like, don't. If that's your guy, go get your guy.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
but maybe that shouldn't be your guy, right?
I'm not in the Colts war room. I don't know what Jim Irsay is thinking. They still need to pick their coach. Like Jeff Saturday has gotten 2 interviews already. So
we're rolling it back with the Saturday. I'm telling you. and nobody wants that Colts job.
And a little bit of breaking news: LeBron is now under 100 points away from passing Kareem. I think he's at 99. He needs 99 more points.
Oh my God!
There was a post on the internet today where he's in the Mecca, right? He's playing in the Madison.
Yeah, he's 117 points away. Will he break it tonight?
I'm like, no, he will not.
No.
No, he won't.
No.
Like, what is,
No.
Is he going to break the all-time scoring record while breaking the single game scoring record? No, he for sure won't. Getting back on track here, let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks on the clock. Obviously, this pick is from the woeful Denver Broncos, who just traded for Sean Payton today. We will be breaking that down a little bit more on Thursday when we do their offseason preview. But for now, the upstart Seattle Seahawks had a shockingly good season this year. But who are they taking at number 5 here in this draft? I'll let TJ go first.
So you don't know how long Geno Smith is going to play to this level. Geno Smith had a career year, right? Like, you don't know how long he's going to keep this up. You have what's his name? Drew Lock still on
Drew
the
Lock.
roster.
Drew Lock might be a free agent this offseason. I don't think he'll be back.
So
they may just straight up release him.
Like you got needs at edge, you got needs at linebacker. I don't know where they go. Like I really don't. A guy that might sneak into the top 5, Devon Witherspoon, the DB out of Illinois. All right, so like you just move him to like the nickel. I don't know if that'll work because you got 2 solid rookie corners. So like they may not do that. Like they might go Tyree Wilson, which is probably more likely, the linebacker out of Texas Tech. So I'm gonna change I'm gonna go Tyree Wilson. They go linebacker, like especially since Bobby Wagner ain't walking through that door no more.
I'm going edge too. I'm having taken Miles Murphy though from Clemson. 6'5", 275 pounds, freak of an athlete. Could be this year's Trayvon Walker. It's a guy who has a bunch of prospects. He looks and goes, just rises up through the draft process, through the combine. Could potentially be the first overall pick.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna agree with TJ. Tyree Wilson. I'm going Tyree Wilson, Texas Tech here. He's super raw, super athletic, 6'6", big guy, man. Fast, strong off the edge. But he's real raw. But his ceiling is very high as an edge rusher at the next level. And that's one of the needs for the Seattle Seahawks. He has some big boom and he has some big bust potential, especially going here in the top 5 for Tyree Wilson.
50 pressures in 2022. 50 from one player at 1 year. That's what is that a game? Like 5 a game?
That's incredible. That's incredible. That's incredible. You ain't gotta lie, David. That's incredible. But he's super raw. He's super athletic. I think at the next level,
like the guy I just mentioned, Miles Murphy, he had 76 pressures over 2 seasons. This guy put up 50 in 1.
So so like 50 pressures in what, 13 games?
I mean 10, right? Texas Tech probably played 10 games.
No, they played 12.
12 games?
12, yeah.
Well, 13 if you include the bowl game.
13 because the bowl game, yeah.
If he played in the bowl game, if they were bowl eligible.
If they were bowl eligible.
They played in the bowl game. They played in the bowl game.
So 13.
I forget who they beat. I think they beat Pittsburgh.
50 pressures in 13 games, bro. Like that's Jesus Christ. Okay.
He's a big boy. He's a big boy too. 6'6". I mean, long arms, real fast. I mean, off that edge, man.
Moving on from the Seattle Seahawks, let's talk about the Detroit Lions, who are now on the clock. Obviously, this pick is from the Los Angeles Rams, who basically won a Super Bowl and then fell apart. So the Lions get the benefit from that. They get the 6th overall pick. I have them picking the guy we just talked about, the kid from Texas Tech. Tyree Wilson. The Lions also need a big-time edge rusher, and Miles Murphy is no longer on the clock. Neither is Will Anderson, so they get the 3rd best guy, who potentially could be, the second or however you rank him. Got him going as number 6 to the Detroit Lions.
I'm actually gonna go with the guy that TJ was mentioning before he made his pick. I'm actually gonna go Devin Witherspoon from Illinois here at cornerback for the Detroit Lions. He is legit the best corner in college football. The epitome of a shutdown corner. You put him on an island, put somebody on the island. You're number 1 on the island with Devin Witherspoon. He's not going to have a good game. Okay, so that's what the Detroit Lions need. They need a guy that is going to be solid because we've seen them being too many up tempo games. The offense is good, but defensively they need a shutdown corner to shut down one side of the field They don't have that just yet. Give me Devin Witherspoon for Illinois here.
TJ.
I don't. I would love. I would love that because like that would be like the first Illinois player in the top 10 in God knows how long, right?
I can't even remember. I can't even remember last time they had a top 10 pick.
Exactly. But I would not want to see Devin Witherspoon twice a year for the next 10 years. So I'm not gonna
He biased. He biased. It's all good, y'all.
hella biased, bro. Keely Ringo. We in the same draft. We in the same boat on what they should draft. It should be they should legit just load up on defense, right? Like David, I don't see them going another edge guy because
you can never have enough edges.
you like that's true. Like you already got Aiden Hutchinson, and you had another rookie edge who followed Aiden Hutchinson 10.5 sacks with 8 of his own.
Yeah, true.
So like your edge is set, right?
I mean, you could put Wilson on the inside. I mean, there's lots of things you could do with having more edges. Like
But
I do agree with you. There could be they do need a corner real bad. I mean, they could take somebody later.
But I'm gonna go Keely Ringo at 6. That's just me. I'm gonna go Keely Ringo to the Lions at 6.
Moving on from the Detroit Lions, we're going to swing into pick number 7, which is the Las Vegas Raiders representing the AFC West.
Say it right, David.
This is the first
Raiders.
There we go, baby.
They had one of the more disappointing seasons of the year. So let's talk with the Raiders in their draft. What do you think they're going to do at 7? TJ, you're on the clock.
I think this is the first AFC team west of the Mississippi River on the board. Like, I'm serious, bro. Like, the Colts are next to us. The Texans might be. I think geographically they west of the Mississippi. I might be wrong, but the Raiders, oh my god, what? So okay, so who's off the board? Like who's gone? Bryce Young is gone.
Yeah, Will Anderson, C.J. Stroud, Jalen Carter's gone. Will Levis is gone. Tyree Wilson's gone.
Well, Will Levis is gone. Will Levis is going on.
Will Levis is not going off. Yeah, he's not going off your board. Yeah,
Derek Carr is gone. Right? They
and Keely Ringo's gone off your board.
And Keely Ringo's gone off my board. So they probably go Will Levis. They need a quarterback. Derek Carr, Derek Carr is whatever reason he's been the scapegoat for the Raiders. I just want to point out that the entire time Derek Carr was with the Raiders, he never had a top 20. Forget top 10, 15. He never had a top 20 defense. So y'all want Derek Carr to win, but not having a top 20 defense doesn't help your quarterback out. So Will Levis is gonna be calling Vegas home, and pray for that kid if that happens.
I'm staying with the quarterback position. I'm not taking Will Levis because he's already off my board. I'm going C.J. Stroud, quarterback, Ohio State, going to be a Las Vegas Raider, and pray for him because you're going to be a Raider.
Pray for both. Yeah.
Your offensive line ain't that good either.
Like whoever gets that quarterback job.
Well, no, you know what though? They got Devontae Adams. They got Josh Jacobs. At least that will help. That will help out your quarterback. Man, you're right.
Josh Jacobs was a free agent this offseason. Maybe they have Josh Jacobs.
Maybe. Okay.
The only reason Devontae Adams is there is because you lured him with the tice of playing with his homeboy. His homeboy gone.
Yeah, he gone. Okay. So yeah, with the 7th pick in the NFL draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select. They run up to the board. I don't think they can run up there fast enough. They run up to the board and they go draft Bryce Young from Alabama. This is a no because he's still on my board.
Damn,
he's still on my board. He dropped down to number 7. Man, I told you, man. The other 2 teams that picked the quarterback, Houston and Indy. They liked the size. They like the size of the C.J. Stroud and Will Levis. Here, the Vegas Raiders just go. They need to go get a quarterback. Derek Carr is not going to be there. Bryce Young, former Heisman Trophy winner. This is a no-brainer for the Las Vegas Raiders right here.
Yeah, we all have the Raiders going quarterback. Moving on to a team that may be in the quarterback market, the Atlanta Falcons on the 8th overall pick. And Izzy, since you went last on the Raiders, I'll let you go first with the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh yeah, with the eighth overall pick, the Atlanta Falcons do not go quarterback in my
No, they
mock
don't.
draft. They don't go quarterback in my mock draft because all the quarterbacks, well, not all the quarterbacks, but all the quarterbacks that make sense for them are not there anymore. I'm gonna go with Miles Murphy, edge out of Clemson. All for the same reasons. David's seen the tape. I've seen the tape. We've seen the tape. The kid's a freakish athlete. He can get after the quarterback, and the Atlanta Falcons need a lot of playmakers on defense. So, and they could go wide receiver here, but and the thing is, the reason I don't go quarterback is because the jury's still out on Desmond Ritter. He
The
went in.
jury is still out on Desmond Ritter. Yes.
Yes, the jury's still out on that. You got to see what that kid's got. I mean, had a hell of a career at Cincinnati.
If things don't work out well next season, the quarterback class next year is really good.
It's pretty good. Yes.
Okay. So Peter Skoronski still on the board. The big tackle out of Northwestern. The issue I have with that, if he falls to a team like Atlanta, where do you play him? Is he a left tackle? Is he a right tackle? Don't really know. But what we do know is this: Calvin Ridley is not walking through that door for the Atlanta Falcons. He's a Jaguar now. In case people forgot, Calvin Ridley's a Jaguar. So you're you're left with
Drake London,
Zacchaeus, Kyle Pitts, and some stuff.
They got Felipe Franks who's playing wide receiver, playing tight end now.
Felipe,
hey, he used to be a quarterback for Florida. Oh my God. Oh my God.
He's one of their backup tight ends.
I thought he was in the XFL. I could have sworn.
Dude, are you kidding me?
He's still on the Falcons, I assume.
So check this out, right? None of us have a receiver off the board.
Yeah.
I got two. I got Quentin Johnson or I got Jordan Addison. Me personally, I'm going with the 6'5" dude out of TCU. That's just me.
Oh, absolutely. You saw what he did on that screenplay against Michigan?
So give me Quentin Johnson to Atlanta against Desmond Ritter, some more weapons, because how you gonna find out if he's the guy if he ain't got adequate weapons to throw to?
And Drake London?
I think.
And Kyle Pitts? That's nasty, TJ. I like that.
I almost went another position in this particular pick with the Atlanta Falcons for the same idea, but you can't figure out if Desmond Ritter can play if he's always getting killed by a pass rush. So you got to show up this offensive line. I have them taking the big tackle from Northwestern.
Okay, I don't hate that.
Skoronski. I think it'll be the highest player ever taken by a Northwestern Wildcat.
No. Where did Slater go to the chart? When did Slater get?
I think I went 11.
Okay,
this would be earlier than Slater, but yeah, I have this guy going. The Atlanta Falcons. He's going to be the tackle of the future. Jake Matthews is not going to play forever. You can even play him at right tackle until Jake Matthews retires, which I can't imagine is going to be that much longer because he's been playing forever.
Slater was 13.
How long has Jake Matthews been playing?
Slater was 13. You're right.
A long time.
Oh my gosh! It seems like yesterday when I remember he was drafted.
So
it went by so fast.
So check this out.
No,
Jake Matthews.
Oh, he's only 30. I mean,
Jake Matthews is only 30.
He can play for a while longer, I guess.
8 more years.
Yeah. But moving on from the Atlanta Falcons, let's talk about the Carolina Panthers. They're on the clock at number 9. And since I went last with the Falcons, I'll go first. And I have the first position, skill position in this year's draft, at least on my mock draft. But it's not a wide receiver. It's Bijan Robinson, the running back out of Texas, going to Carolina. Kind of Chris McCaffrey experiment 2.0. This Carolina Panthers off team really did well when they ran the football. And let's get a dominant running back to be the bell cow there at Carolina. I think you figure out the quarterback situation later or next season. Bijan Robinson also can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a versatile player. 9. Carolina Panthers. And I bet you, Izzy, you don't hate that pick.
Reggie Bush-esque. I love Bijan Robinson. I just don't see him going in the top 18 for some reason. Yeah, I don't see him going in the top 10. I love Bijan Robinson going in the first round. I just don't see the need here. Because of the two running backs, Deontay Foreman and who was the other guy that they had?
Those guys
Chuba
signed
Hubbard.
1-year deals. They're not going to be back.
Hey, who knows if they come back?
Chuba Hubbard might be back. They
Chuba
signed
Hubbard?
Deontay Foreman after they traded for Chris McCaffrey. Deontay Foreman just hanging out, waiting for whatever. This is the second season in a row.
Anyways, history repeats itself with this pick. Mm-hmm. They are going with the guy that won an MVP for them and took them to a Super Bowl. This guy is compared to Anthony Richardson out of Florida. It's a Carolina Panther here.
If Anthony Richardson makes it into the top 10, somebody needs to be drug tested.
I know. And you know, it's crazy because it's crazy because he literally like had a very up and down year at Florida. And, like, he didn't look like a top 10 pick at Florida, but he made some plays that were like, oh, my God. Like, he can run. He has, like, 4.4 speed. He has a big arm. He's a big quarterback. If he can put it all together in Carolina, they have a special young quarterback. I think they get their quarterback in the future here with Anthony Richardson off the board.
Okay.
All right.
But, yes. They do need to get. They are going to need to get drug tested though, because I don't think Anthony Richardson should be going here, but I know they're going to go. I have a feeling they're going to pick him, so that's why I picked him. That's why I put him there.
All right, so check this out. Right, every year around the 7 through 10 spot, we get a guy that no one expects to be a top 10 pick, but they make it into the top 10. Right, that guy for me this year, Izzy, you might like this, you might hate it, I don't know. Really don't. Michael Mayer, the tight end out of Notre Dame.
I really hate that because I really hate that because I wish on your mock board he goes off early and I want him to be a Packer. So
of course you do.
But Michael Mayer is the best draft prospect at the tight end position in this year's draft.
Only because
Brock Byers
is not
still in college. He's still in college. Honestly, no, TJ, no. You know what? Honestly, we can't really say that because Michael Mayer. Honestly, he had a better year statistically than Brock Bowers. The only thing Brock Bowers is because his team went undefeated.
Lots of the people.
I'm not lying. I think Michael. And plus I'm a little biased because I'm a Notre Dame fan. So you know it is.
Brock Bowers basically ate up TCU in the championship.
Yeah, but no, if you look at his numbers, I mean Brock Bowers won the Mackey, but I mean I think Michael Myers should have won it. He had crazy numbers last year.
Bro, like they were talking about Brock Bowers as the number one tight end last year. Like he would be the number one tight end. Like he would have been the number one tight end in last year's class.
Yeah,
lots of the people that made hers better than him. Like it's okay, it's cool. You're biased. I get that. Root for your guy, but
okay, guys.
The dude had 152 yards in the national title game. Like he was just unguardable. But yeah, moving on from Carolina, let's wrap up the top 10 with the Philadelphia Eagles. This pick is obviously from the New Orleans Saints. If they had a dreadful season and the Eagles are playing in the Super Bowl. I mentioned in the group chat, the Philadelphia Eagles were extremely difficult for me to mock because they don't really have a lot of glaring needs. And so, I'm interested to see which direction you guys ended up going. Let TJ go first with this Eagles.
Yeah, again, like they were tough. So they are a super physical team. I have them going offensive line. I got them going. Can't find his name right now. The top center in the draft. Whoever the top center in the draft is, because this is looking like the last hurrah for Jason Kelce.
The top center in the draft. What they're saying. So Olu Watumi from Michigan won. He swept all the O lineman awards, but he's a little stiff, and I think the best center in the draft that they're saying is the kid from Minnesota because he's a little bit more bendable, more
Don't
athletic.
I don't hate that, and I did see him. He did have a good game against Illinois, who
Mm-hmm.
Illinois was one of the toughest defenses all year, and they gave up 100 yards rushing to the stud running back up at Minnesota, which I can't think of his name right now. And I'm very upset because was not expecting him to get 100 yards, but you're only as good as the offensive line that's in front of you. And yeah, Big Homie, I watched that game. Big Homie was a menace. He was disgusting. So again, Jason Kelsey's what, 35, 34, 35. If he wins this, like if the Eagles win this, he goes out on top, rides off into the sunset. So that's me. I think they go offensive line. They got to go interior offensive line at that.
I'm just not sure there's anybody to take at 10, but I see where you're going with that. I'm gonna swing into the defensive side of the ball. I don't think it's completely clear which of those cornerbacks are going to be back next season. James Bradbury and then Gardner Johnson, who you traded for.
If they get Devon Witherspoon, because he's still on my board, he's probably still on your board.
He's still on my board, but I'm actually going a different direction. I'm taking Joey Porter Jr.
That's disgusting.
The corner from Penn State. So yeah.
Hey, I've seen mocks with him to Pittsburgh. Like that'd be crazy.
Hey, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy.
Play where his dad played, but no, I haven't been staying in the state of Pennsylvania.
Play where his dad coaches. His dad's a coach there too.
I'm gonna have him go to the Philadelphia Eagles. They take Joey Porter Jr. I think he's the best corner in this year's draft.
Hey, I got a surprise for y'all later on that. Yeah, at number 10, Philly. They're still wide receivers on the board left for me. That's the direction I'm going because outside of AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, don't nobody on that wide receiver corps scare me. Quez Watkins don't scare me.
Real fast.
Nobody scares me, and we just saw Cincinnati with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. I mean, you the more wide receivers you got to go around Jalen Hurts, the better. I'm going the best wide receiver available on my mock draft, and that's Quentin Johnson out of TCU. Big 6'5". I mean, we saw what he did, took the screen pass from Michigan and took it to the house, baby. That's the type of athletic freak. I mean, he's got Calvin Johnson-esque freak athletic ability in a way. So I'm going Quentin Johnson out of TCU here at Philly. But, I mean, this is a team that just doesn't have many holes, and it's very hard to draft for. So
it's very difficult to predict where they're going to go. Like, because
one thing that does tend to happen, like whoever wins the Super Bowl, usually that team gets purged, right? Like all the teams that have money, the guys from the Super Bowl teams that are looking for money, they go where the money goes, right? Like they're not every team's going to do what the Buccaneers did and say, hey, let's run it back. And
that
everybody
never happens.
And that almost never happens.
Moving outside the top 10, let's get it moving a little bit faster now. So first of all, we got the Tennessee Titans on the clock. TJ, but you got the Tennessee Titans taking it 11 after a pretty disappointing season after they went to the playoffs basically most of the last decade to not get bounced by the Jaguars before they even made it. Who do you have them taking at 11?
Jordan Addison. They need more weapons.
I totally agree with you on that, but I think that they also need to shore up this offensive line. Once Taylor Lewan went out, they were really basically finished at tackle position. They're a team that basically going to continue to run the ball a lot next season too. Paris Johnson Jr. Off the tackle Ohio State.
I like that too.
Yeah, number 11, Tennessee Titans. I do agree with David. They need to shore up that offensive line. I think, shore up the offensive line. I got Peter Skoronski still on the board here. I got him going number 11. Tackle out of Northwestern to the Tennessee Titans here.
Number 12, Houston Texans on the clock. This is from the trade with the Cleveland Browns as part of the Deshaun Watson trade. Mm-hmm. Izzy, who do you have the Texans taking with their second first-round pick this year?
Yes, so this is my surprise for you guys. So since they went and got C.J. Stroud at 2, and this team has a lot of holes, but they need, we said this. I said this earlier in their preview. I said, you just need to go best player, Baylor. Okay? And they pair up C.J. Stroud with his homeboy, Jackson Smith-Njigba, wide receiver out of Ohio State. I know he was injured all last year, but the year before that, Jackson Smith-Njigba was literally the best wide receiver in college football, even though he didn't win the Biletnikoff. Jordan Addison did. Jackson Smith-Njigba here for the Houston Texans. And we've seen this happen. You know, Trevor Lawrence, ETN, Jamar Chase the next year after Joe Burrow. So I like that. Jackson 50 juggler.
Well, I don't have. I have Bryce Young being taken by the Houston Texans, so there's no his wide receiver that he can pair up with. So I actually have them taking the best wide receiver available, and the first wide receiver actually taken in my mock draft, Jordan Addison, wide receiver who was with Pittsburgh, now plays with USC. I think he brings all the intangibles we look for at the wide receiver position. I have him Texas taking him because I think the uncertainty around Brandon Cooks and the rest of that wide receiving core not being all that good.
Yes.
I think I got Bryce Young with them too. Larry Tunsil might either be a cap casualty or a trade thing or a trade chip. So they get Paris Johnson Jr., left tackle at Ohio State. They just go from one left tackle to the other.
Mm-hmm.
Like it. To number 14, the New York Football Jets are on the clock after a season that started out extremely promising and fizzled out down the stretch. How do you guys see the Jets going in this year's mock draft? Do any of you guys have them taking quarterback, or do you think there's going to be a trade on the horizon for this team?
Trade. No, not trade this pick, but I think trade for a quarterback.
I think
which includes trading this pick.
Exactly.
I honestly think the Jets will not be picking here. I think this pick will be made by the Green Bay Packers. Potentially.
No, I actually agree with you. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be a New York Jet. I do.
If the Jets end up staying here, I think they shore up that defense. I think they have them taking Christian Gonzalez, the corner out of Oregon. He's the best quarterback still available on my board. Give me a
big boy.
Yeah.
6'3", man. He's
pair him up with Sauce Gardner. If you do sign DJ Reader, have DJ Reed play nickel. Christian Gonzalez. Sorry,
Gonzalez. Well, on my board, Peter Skronsky's still on the board, and Mekhi Becton just can't get healthy. He's pretty much been injured since he came into the league, and that's just unfortunate because they marveled at his size. They marveled at a dude that was 6 whatever, over basically 400 pounds, and he could move. He ran like a 5, like he ran the 5-some-40 at 400 pounds, and they're like, yo, no human is supposed to be that big and able to move that well. But he hasn't played. He probably hasn't played 8 games.
No, he hasn't played a full season. I would be shocked if he played over 10 games so far in his career.
So Peter Skronsky goes to the Jets. It'll be tough. I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. You're pretty much all out on Zach Wilson. I don't know if Mike White has the sustainability to play a full 17. Flacco, David already knows this. I retired Joe Flacco. So, and so that's where that train's headed. So, could they trade for a quarterback? Could they trade up to get one of those quarterbacks? This all depends on what I think Houston still does control the draft.
I think the Jets want to win now. I don't think they want to wait for a quarterback to be groomed. The rest of this roster is ready to go. It's the quarterback position holding them back.
Yep.
So you're right. It's I got Peter Skronsky going at 13.
Zach Wilson need to go 13, back to BYU and learn how to play quarterback. Anyways, number 13. Yeah, I go. Tackle. Best available tackle. Second tackle in the league. In the draft. Paris Johnson Jr. out of Ohio State. Just fits a need for them. They need more help on that offensive line. So give me that. But I don't think they'll be picking with this pick. I think they'll be trading this for a quarterback. Yeah.
And speaking of the Patriots, they're the 14th pick. Bill Belichick, if they have finally shored up that offensive coordinator situation, it's going to be Bill O'Brien.
Did they?
Bill O'Brien I know we hate on him as a GM, but he's a brilliant offensive coordinator. He really does design some really good plays.
He's a brilliant. He's the only offensive coordinator the Patriots didn't win a Super Bowl under. So do with that information what you will.
I mean, he was good in Alabama, but Bill O'Brien's a very good offensive mind. Just don't let anyone in the front office.
Yes, he's a fire. He's a fire. Anyways, am I going first here?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah. All right, I'll go first. Yeah. So Bill Belichick finally does. He goes in a different direction. He doesn't do a Bill Belichick type of pick where he goes
He
and
made
gets
a
Cole
Bill Belichick
Strange.
type of hire.
What do you mean? He's not gonna reach for some random player.
He's not going to reach for a Cole Strange. He's not going to go defense here. Bill Belichick is probably going to go offense. He's going to go get Jordan Addison, wide receiver out of USC. Nobody, absolutely nobody, scares you on that wide receiver court for the New England Patriots. Their defense is really good.
You can make the legit argument that nobody on their offense scares you. Like not a single
Nobody on the offense.
not a soul. Like Roger Stevenson is a nice player, but he doesn't scare you. David Harris is a nice player, but
if they go defense, I'm gonna pull my hair out because your defense is already good. So you have to go offense this draft. So yeah, Bill Belichick goes Jordan Addison, wide receiver out of USC.
Like the problem is Bill Belichick is gonna do Bill Belichick things because he like that's just who he is.
Bill Belichick likes to build on his strength, and where is his strength lie on the defensive side of the ball? So I have them taking the safety out of Alabama, Brian Branch. It makes sense because Devin McCourty might retire. Jalen Mills is not a lock to be back next season, so you bolster up that secondary and keep winning the way you win. Just roll it.
And you know Brian Branch, I love Brian Branch because he can play that rover type of position for New England. He's like a hybrid, you know.
I think this was the last hoorah for McCourty. Like we saw him on the bench against the Buffalo Bills as the game wound down. He's over there. He was very emotional. So all signs indicate that this was it. Like no win, lose, draw, no matter what.
Out of 174 tackles attempts by Brian Branch, he only missed 4 tackles his entire career at Alabama.
But yeah, Bill Belichick does Bill Belichick things, and Brian Branch just makes too much sense. Like it just screams Bill Belichick, right? Like
I don't hate it. I just think like God, Bill, you need to go offense here, dude.
Well,
what are you doing?
As TJ mentioned during the season, it might be time for Bill Belichick to, cash out.
Pass the baton to his son? Pass the baton to his son or something, yeah.
And I understand Bill Belichick has earned the right to say, I'm done coaching when I'm done coaching.
Yeah.
Like he has 100% earned that right. But hey, if I'm Robert Kraft, I'm looking at him like, hey, blood, it's nice. It's been great. You have been the model employee for 30 years, basically.
We got a front office position for you.
Yeah.
We gonna do to you what the Bucks did for Bruce Arians. We gonna make up some position, some front office position, and you're gonna you're just not coaching no more, bro. Like you're not coaching, you're not GMing no more. We're going new directions all the way around.
Moving on from the New England Patriots to the Green Bay Packers and pick number 15. Let's let the Bear fans make the first pick. And TJ, you're
go ahead, guys.
Green Bay Packers.
Okay, so
he's gonna bomb this pick. By the way, he's gonna do it on purpose too. Do it on purpose.
No, so like Quentin Johnson is off my board. Michael Mayer's off my board. Jordan Addison's off my board. I don't even know if they would go receiver because you got 2 nice ones, right? You got Romeo Doubs. You got
Romeo Doubs,
Christian Watson.
You got Christian Watson.
Romeo Doubs showed like a couple games earlier in the season. He was really nothing special the rest of the year.
You
look at his numbers.
You got nice pieces. That does not change the fact that you got 2 solid pieces that you have at receiver, does it not?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
He a big boy too. He's 6'3". Big boy.
So Christian Watson definitely turned it on late, maybe too little too late because we saw it. They needed that last game to get in, and we saw what happened.
He ain't do nothing.
I still think tight end is the way to go for them. So I think they get another Georgia tight end. I gotta pull his name up because I had it and I just.
Oh God, I know exactly what you're talking about outside of Brock Myers.
So it's either him or they get Dalton Kincaid, the kid out of Utah, which might be a better fit. Kincaid out of Utah, but they do need another tight end outside of
Darnell
Robert
Washington
Tynan.
is the guys.
So yeah, it's either him or they go Kincaid from Utah. So like they do go tight end. They need a tight end. They need
You
another
know who
tight
would
end.
love that pick? Christian would love that pick. He loves Darnell Washington. Like that, he loves both of those guys. Brock Bowers.
I'm
Darnell
staying
Washington.
at the skill position, but I'm not addressing the tight end. I still think that you have questions at wide receiver. I'm having them taking the best one left available. Quentin Johnson, big speedster, big wide receiver out of TCU. Packers.
I would love that. I would love that, David, but he's not on my board. Neither is Jordan Addison. Neither is Jackson Smith and Jugba. So I, you all know where I'm going, baby. He's still on my board. Michael Meyer, tight end out of Notre Dame. Yes, please come to Green Bay, baby. Yes.
now
Thank you.
When we get the actual draft, they're going to take like a safety.
No. Y'all better not take a safety. But if Michael Myers not there, I do like Dalton Kincaid to be a pick here. But even if they don't go tight end, godly, man. I mean, another wide receiver. Godly. I don't even know who's the next best available wide receiver on the draft. I don't even think there's one that's worth picking, to be honest. So yeah,
sure
I'm hoping that Michael Meyer is still there. Because then at this point, it's just like, you got to go best player available, and it's a whole bunch of linemen and defensive backs that you that are there.
We're probably going to see a lot of scramble. We're probably going to see a massive scramble at this pick. So, like, well,
I can see Green Bay trading back in this draft.
Yeah, we're probably going to see a massive scramble from the minute we hit pick 11 on through. It's going to be a massive scramble.
I mean, it could be exactly like we saw last year.
Best,
like we're basically
best wide receiver. I wouldn't be mad if they went and got Zay Flowers from Boston College. He's decent. He's decent.
Moving on from the Green Bay Packers, let's talk about the Washington Commanders, which that name has kind of rubbed off on me a little bit. I like it more than I did last year.
Oh, stop it.
Izzy on the clock with the Washington Commanders. Who do you have them picking at number 16?
Washington Commanders, man, yeah, they need help at the offensive line. Yeah, they need a little bit of everything. Well, defensively, I mean, we talking about last 2 years. They probably do need a DB or two here. But I'm actually going to go with best guard available, best interior lineman available. That's Osiris Torrance, guard out of Florida. This kind of shores up the interior offensive line for the Washington Commanders there. And especially since, like Carson Wentz was getting killed in the first half of the season. So, yeah.
The Washington Commanders are a very hard team to mock draft as well. And not because of the reason that the Philadelphia Eagles are difficult to mock draft. It's because the Washington Commanders need everything. Like, it's not the Eagles where they have everything. The Commanders literally have nothing. Like, I think they have questions at quarterback. They have questions at the offensive line. The only place they don't have question marks is in their front seven. They have one of the better front sevens in the NFL. But everywhere else, I think there are major question marks. But I have them addressing the cornerback situation. William Jackson, the third, as a free agent signing from the Cincinnati Bengals. To say that it hasn't worked out would probably be an understatement. I think they try to shore that up. I have them taking Devin Witherspoon, cornerback, Illinois.
Whew, he fell for you.
I think he fell for me too. I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate that. He would torment the NFC West for God knows how long. And yeah, this is a hard team to mock for, right? Like you run the risk of losing Deron Payne in free agency. Yeah, that's tough. They need a tight end too, so Darnell Washington here makes a lot of sense. All right, like Logan Thomas is a nice story. He really is, but he's had like the injury bug has been ruthless to him lately. So yeah, give me Darnell Washington here at 16.
And moving on to the second to last pick in this mock draft, at least this one, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers on the clock. And TJ, since you went last with the Commanders, you get to go first when it comes to the Steelers.
So it all comes full circle for the Porter family. Again, I've seen a lot of mocks with Joey Porter Jr. going to the Steelers at 17. I think Joey Porter Sr. is a coach.
Yeah, he's
for the Steelers.
I think he's a cornerback coach or linebacker coach on this team.
Mm-hmm. So that would be great. That's a full circle moment, right? Joey Porter, I think, spent all of his career with the Steelers, right? He played his whole career with them.
Yep, won 2
So
Super Bowls.
he played all but 4 seasons with the Steelers.
All before,
Uh,
so
So yeah, he played from 1999 to 2006 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He won 1 Super Bowl with them, and then he went to Miami, and then he went to Arizona. He was a 4-time Pro Bowler. Most of that actually was when he was with the Miami Dolphins.
the Pro Bowl stuff.
Oh, I guess no, I lied. He only went.
No, that was when he was with Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh,
I
right?
was saying he was a dog in Pittsburgh, man.
He was really
Him,
good.
Troy
in Miami,
Troy Polamalu, man. Yeah.
He was very
Yeah.
good in Miami though too. So
Back when you could hit people.
You had who's my boy on ESPN was on that defense?
Ryan Clark.
Ryan Clark was on that defense. Yeah.
So yeah, they go Joey Porter Jr. at 17. That's nice full circle moment.
is he go next?
Yeah, number 17. I am on the same wavelength as TJ. I'm going Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn State. One of the Steelers. Full circle moment, just like TJ said. I think he's going to be a special cornerback in the league. He didn't play in the Rose Bowl. But that's all right because everything that he did in the regular season is coming up. Even for the last couple regular seasons, is coming into this moment being drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Joey Porter Jr. here at 17.
17 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, Joey Porter is no longer on my big board here, so I can't take him. I'm actually going to go to Brian Breezy, the defensive tackle out of Clemson, 6'5", 300 pounds. Bounced back nicely off that ACL injury from the past season to have a pretty solid season this year. And they could use somebody who could play nose tackle, right defensive end, because Larry Ogunjobi probably will not be back next season.
They can either.
Whoa.
Well, he got really excited and disconnected, I think.
Just lost me.
Yeah, it's all good. Moving on to the final pick, and this is my version of the mock draft. We got the Detroit Lions on the clock at number 18. This is their actual pick, shocking as that might be. And I have the Detroit Lions going Anthony Richardson, quarterback out of Florida. I think that he could sit behind Jared Goff for one year and kind of learn to be a pro, learn how to play in the NFL, and then have him take the reins next season. I think the Lions, I do not think they will be picking even this early next year. I expect them to be a playoff team next year. Lions. Richardson.
What you call it? I like again when back in the top 10. Well, they have what pick do they have? 6. They have 6, right?
Correct. 6.
Yep.
I've seen I cannot tell you how many mock drafts I've seen with them taking either Will Levis or CJ Stroud with that first pick. And I'm just like, what do y'all have against Jared Goff? Like, seriously.
Yeah. Like for real, he did nothing wrong to that franchise. He did everything right last year for them.
Like, what? Like,
I don't have anything against it. I just think that they're going to eventually want to get the.
No. I'm not saying your pick is wrong, David. Like, it makes more sense right now versus a top 10 pick, because top 10 picks are expected to play right away, but right away at that. So like if you get a guy like Anthony Richardson, to David's point, you can work on his game, you can polish him to fit you can polish him the way you want to, because Ben Johnson, they're lucky Ben Johnson didn't take a job this offseason.
I mean, Arizona's still up in for grabs. I mean, nobody's gotten hired there. I mean, nobody has taken the Colts job yet. So,
I mean, like the way,
there is still a potential that Sean McVay may walk away.
Like the way I see it, he could have. You saw the job he did, right? Like you saw the job he did. How do you not get him a job like out the gate? How do you not do that? I could see them trading. I could see them trading this pick away, but we're not doing that here. So I think they get one more offensive weapon for whatever. Like it's just the name of the game now. Can you imagine Zay Flowers in that offense? I would have nightmares. Man. I have nightmares now, and they don't have. And they don't have a surefire, like, quote unquote guy. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown is nice, but he's not
he's probably the fastest player in this year's draft.
Like think about this. Like, right, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, you got healthy Jameson Williams, and Williams, and then you just gonna add Zay Flowers to the mix. It's really like
who had 1,000 yards and 12 scores playing for Boston College last season.
And you're talking about Zay Flowers, in which his quarterback transferred, a couple offensive linemen transferred. Like, he literally came back to Boston College thinking that he was gonna have a solid footing on offense, and he had to play with a bunch of average guys, and he still put up numbers there in the ACC. So I love that pick with Zay Flowers. Anywhere in this range. To be honest with you.
Well, who you have taken?
I am going, like, the Lions are set on offense. I just think they have good offensive line. They have wide receivers. They have, you could say tight end. They got rid of TJ Hockenson, but whatever. They have a good running back tandem with Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift, Jared Goff at quarterback. So offense is set. It's defense in which they have a whole bunch of holes. And right here they have edge rushers like TJ said, Aiden Hutchinson. I forget who the other rookie is that had 8 sacks. So you got to go interior defensive lineman. I actually have them going Brian Breesy, defensive tackle out of Clemson, but they could go Siaka Ika out of Baylor. Either or would be, just right for the Detroit Lions. If they go defensive tackle, I got them taking Brian Breesy out of Clemson.
James Houston is the guy you're talking about, the other rookie playing linebacker.
Yeah, James Houston, yep.
And yet, my friends, has been our first mock draft 1.0, the no trade edition presented by Prime Sports World. Please like, share, subscribe to the podcast.
Just a quick recap, like Trey, what's his name? The edge out of Clemson. He's still on my board. I let a lot of players drop. I have a lot of players dropping on my board, but this is just the first mock draft. That could very well change when we get the pro days and the combine.
We'll do another mock draft as we get closer towards the draft as the NFL season starts to wrap up here. But yeah, let us know down in the comment section what you thought about our picks for your teams. Also, like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. If you did happen to miss us live, you can catch us on the plethora of streaming platforms on the link I shared. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and that's right, iHeartRadio, baby. So continue checking us out. I'm with David Huffman. Right there is the CEO of Prime Sports World, Mr. Israel Rivera, and then my co-host, Mr. TJ Hopkins. And gentlemen, what we do here at the Prime, my friends.
We bring the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
We bring the heat, baby. Also, tomorrow we're going to be doing a very special episode of the crossover. We're going to talk about the All-Star starters. We're going to make our predictions for the All-Star reserves, and then we're going to talk about some players that could be or might not be on the move this NBA trade deadline. So keep an eye out for that content. We will see you guys all tomorrow. You all have a good night and stay safe out there.
Stay safe. And shout out to my people in Belgium. Shout out to my people in Belgium for downloading the podcast. There.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate you guys in Belgium and Ireland. Yeah, there we go.
Let's go. See you later, buddy.